Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing the sign for air sign Sun, Moon, and Rising. And the decks I'm using, that I always use, is my Fairy Tarot deck by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, illustrations by Howard David Johnson. And we're also using the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid and the Fairy Oracle by Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and artwork by Selena Fennick. Which reminds me, I did pull two cards, that's good. I pre-shuffle because it just takes a little bit longer to get the messages out, and I don't want to waste anyone's time if they're in a hurry to get their messages. So the first card I pulled today is the Awakening. This card to me is like you're resting, you're pausing, maybe you're taking a day off from work or from life or people in general. It's also looking at things in a different perspective. You're embracing your uniqueness, and people that used to call you weird and different and you didn't fit in and everything. Now people are starting to actually recognize your abilities and your talents. This is also the card for Pisces. So with Pisces, I would always pull out a crystal like the black obsidian for Pisces, because Pisces is known for very protective, and they have the yin and yang. They can either swim upstream or downstream. They're either up, as in swimming in the opportunities, or depleted of opportunities. There's never a balance. It's usually one extreme to the other. The Awakening is also talking about being highly intuitive right now. You may be getting downloads, you may be getting messages from the other side, you might be getting messages for your future events. And also the Awakening, the Hangman for me, is you're letting go of things, places and people that are becoming burdensome, or you find are draining your energy and draining your intuition. Basically, they're downloading, or they're giving off their negativity, and you're picking up on their negative auric field, and you're then picking up on sadness, pain, and illness. Is what also can happen if you're an empath. You can, unfortunately, people that are sick or dying, you can then pick that up and then take that home and then not be well yourself and almost be sick and dying. Very careful how you absorb energy. So then we've got here Six of Autumn crossing your path. This is like a gift from the gods. The good comes back to you, an unexpected inflow of money, borrowing wisely, or repaying a debt. You may have someone who's gifting you something, whether it be a present or giving you their time. They might be volunteering their time to you, to talk to you, to go out of their way to speak to you. And maybe you haven't reciprocated because you may have not trusted that they were real. Maybe that's for some air signs out there. I know I'm very mistrustful of things on the net. There's a lot of scams on the net, and when someone says that it's Keanu Reeves or it's Slim Shady, it's Eminem, I'm mistrustful of that. I just think that it's just a scam. And so if I come across as mistrustful, it's because I've been warned that there's so many scammers out there, and they're just after your details so they can use them to send you bills, or I don't know, try and get access your accounts and things like that. Luckily, I don't have accounts that can be accessible. So to anyone out there trying to scam me, it's not happening. I don't even get mail. So we've got, because I can't open my letterbox, we've got here the Piece of Summer. In your past, it's again that you were involved with a Scorpion, Cancer, Pisces person, very romantic, captivating, a flirtatious person that can, sweep you off your feet. They can zoom in and steal your heart. They fall in love, and they need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. They can be heartbreakers, though. They can have interest in many other people besides you. They may have a wandering eye, and they can recite you poetry and look deep in your eyes, but also be off seeing other people and doing other people, if you know what I mean, get the gist. It's PG here, but what I'm saying is just be wary of all this flattery, because if they're love bombing you, then there's a need for something they want from you rather than an actual interest. But be careful how you treat them, because they have a heart of glass. Fragile, handle with care is what it's saying with this one. In the recent past, you've got here the Six of Wands. Now that's to do with being in the spotlight. Wonderful news is on its way, smart choices, and can bring rewards and success and public recognition. So it can talk about being in the public eye, and you maybe have had a ticker-tape parade in your honour, or people have been coming to your concerts. If you're an entertainer, you had a lot of attention thrown at you at a very young time in your life, at a very young age. So you may have not been ready for the spotlight or advertising what you did, and you possibly didn't used to get possibly have stage fright. So I'm getting that someone out there that's an air sign had a bundle of nerves before going on stage or acting or singing or dancing or performing. It was very hard for you to get that confidence up. And when you're young, you tend to be full of bravado and fake confidence. But sometimes that's easily masked with arrogance, and arrogance can come across as being confident, but in fact it's hiding the fear, the insecurities of being young and being on stage and being in the spotlight. So what we've also got is crowning you, is love coming in for you. So I picked up the crystal of rose quartz and selenite, which is talking about magnifying that love. It's a pure light. Selenite is also healing. It's a head chakra and the crown chakra, and the crystal of the rose is the heart chakra. So head and heart. Maybe you think with your head and your heart, but your head rules your heart. So you're a little bit untrusting. Use your discernment wisely is what it's saying. So the Ace of Cups is the new love. Open your heart to this new love, the beginning of a new relationship or the rebirth of the current one if you're currently in a relationship. The awakening of psychic skills, abilities or spiritual epiphanies. Again, this has a lot to do with the first card I pulled, which is the awakening card, the Piscean card. You may have been awakening to a side of yourself that, that has been hidden, or how do I say, spellbound by a group of individuals when you were very young. Perhaps you had this gift all along, and it wasn't until you had, like I had, a near-death experience, then it came out, then it decided to bloom. It awokened a part of me that I'd possibly learnt to shut off or didn't know about, and didn't know I was calling things in. I was looking at a book, digitising books at a university library, and I had a vision that night about this Matara festival, and I thought that's weird because the Matara festival is just something, and I saw these women in old period costume, like 1800s, and I thought that's interesting, and they're showing where's the plates, where's the cake plates, we need to get the cake plates to raise the funds for the Matara, to put the Matara on, because back then they used to hold it in Mayfield in Newcastle, and then they moved it to Newcastle. It was a council run thing, I didn't know that. So anyway, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to come across a book with a ledger in it that talks about that period of time, about the Matara. And I was telling my co-worker that day, who's a doctor of, I don't know what she's a doctor of, but she's a Dr. Hardy. And I said, have you got any ledgers with the Matara entry? Not that I know of. That morning I came across a book, and in the ledger it said, Matara Festival, X amount of dollars for the photographs. And I just went, wow, that's the confirmation. That's how I get confirmation. Whether the book reached out for me or I reached out for it on an esoteric level, on a sense, is it Claritin sense? Claritin sense. I think I have all four of them. Claritin sense, clairaudience, clair recognition, as in cognitive, like I'll sense it, I will vision it, clairvoyance, or I'll hear it, or I'll feel it. I feel my gut. It's like something's up. My stomach will start growling when I'm worried or I'm scared about something or someone coming my way. I'll have this knowing, this knowing in my head that this bad thing's coming towards me, or be wary of this person because they're not who they appear to be. If my stomach starts growling, I have to listen to it. So it's saying here there's this new love, but go on your instincts rather on knowledge. Use your gut on this one is what it's saying. Now in your future, your near future, you've got here 8 of Cups. This to me is 8 of Cups is weeks. It's talking about 8 weeks time. Months is Pentacles. So in 6 months time you're going to be blessed with some sort of gift. But it's saying in 8 weeks time you're going to realise it's time to move on, or choosing to make major life changes. You may decide to do big moves. You may want to pack up your stuff and go and move away and move to a new city, a new state, a new country, or just a new place of residence is what it's specifically saying here. Then you've got here, and I've got the rock, which is the crystal amethyst, for stress and anxiety. We're talking about stress and anxiety and going on stage and performing. The life experience here is the Aquarian card, so that's why I've got the amethyst. It's the birthstone of Aquarius. Let go of belief systems that no longer work for you. An important life-changing event, a situation that leads to significant opportunities. It's talking about you blowing things up, having an argument with someone, or just pulling down old things that no longer work for you, whether it be a house that you've packed up and moved from, or a sudden realization, a sudden move. It could be an accident. It could represent a thunderstorm, like a series of altering weather patterns that are just, like shock thunderstorms, shock fires we recently had in WA. Natural disasters that come around. It's like the tower. It's a big event. The birth of someone, it can be a big event, a life-changing event that's coming up for your life. Dramatic changes in your life is what it's talking about. Then we've got here the 10 of Pentacles, 10 months' time. It talks about money coming to you, or you're inheriting something in 10 months' time. The financial security of your children or loved ones, making wise investments or planning for retirement, honouring family traditions. You may be semi-retired. You may not be working as much as you would like because you're at an age where you can't get full-time work. Trust me, I've been there. I'm finding it really hard to get work at the moment. But I do this as my sideline venture, and I'm hoping to make money from it eventually. Apparently you have to get so many followers. So anyone that could like and share my page would be much appreciated. So then I can then be able to make a button which says donate, monetize. You can donate to this channel, donations. I think it's a dollar sign button, but I can't get that until I get so many followers. So that could happen in 10 months' time for me, perhaps. It could also mean inherited gifts and psychic abilities. And sometimes in generations, you have a series of people that will hand down their psychic abilities to children because you both have psychic people. You both have psychic parents. So, of course, that will be handed down to you. Your gifts, your natural abilities to intuit information, to read a room, your natural ability to know what's happening before it happens. Like I get it, 2-year window, generally, 2 to 3 years out. Sometimes I'm 20 years out, and that's kind of scary. I had dated one person back in the day when I was 20, not even 21, travelled to to Japan for him, and sensed that he had a wife, and I called him out on it. He didn't like it. We've argued because he said he was unmarried when I met him in Australia on a tour of duty. I think it was during the 90s in the Afghanistan war. He's on a deployment, came to Australia for R&R, and I didn't know he was married. He played it so well, and maybe I was naive. I'm pretty naive, but I'm also very psychic. I never got any impression that he was married or taken or otherwise, or engaged. Possibly he was engaged. Maybe he wasn't that into it. Who knows? But when I went to see him, I sensed this woman around him. He goes, "Oh, that's my ex." And he showed me a picture of her who got married and married someone else, apparently. So this wasn't her, but I had this image of this woman, and the woman had a baby in the picture. Well, that's weird. So that was his ex-girlfriend before the one he was then engaged to that I didn't know about. I said, that was what we argued about. And he goes, "No, that's my past. That's a past person. How'd you know about her?" I said, "Did you go through my things?" I went, No, I saw her in a dream. And so 20 years later, I'm working as a volunteer in a Lifeline facility in Australia. I run into this woman that looks exactly like her, and I go, "Do you have a twin sister?" She said, "Yeah, I do." "Where is she?" And she said she lives in America. Bingo. I was like, that's the person I was dreaming about that I was going to meet. But it was related to his ex-partner, girlfriend, whatever. It's random stuff like that you can't make it up. Like, I can't make it up. It's out of this world what I do. I don't even understand it. My family's scared of it, I can tell you now. I don't talk about it much to many of them, except if they're open to it. My mother's very psychic. But the rest of them don't want to know, or they're scared of it. Or they try and test you out to see if you actually are real. I got given a ring my nana said it was for her mum's. Turns out it wasn't her ring. It's actually my Auntie Dawn's ring, because I got a very strong impression of my Auntie Dawn last night, and she passed away about 10-15 years ago. I was in my 20s maybe. I think this was her ring. So, Auntie Dawn, I finally got your impression last night. You were around, very strong, and Uncle Morris misses you, and Uncle Robert, and Auntie Dawn was very much like a second mum to Uncle Morris and my family growing up. They were back up. They were second set of parents. They were my second set of grandparents, really. So it's saying here, coming up for you, so that's the effects and people around you that have these inherited gifts. What's your hopes and dreams is to come into some money, or win some money, or you want to get a car. Maybe you're hoping to get a car your hopes and fears, or you're scared of getting or receiving a gift. Unexpected good luck. It could be you want to travel, you want to go overseas, somewhere cold is what I'm getting, because they've got here the Ace of Swords up the top here, which is winter, somewhere very cold and icy. So it's saying you're going to get downloads on where you're supposed to go next. Now, there is a picture on Facebook currently running around that shows an image of images of Switzerland, and there was this one scene with this train that I dreamt about I was on. It goes in this huge arc around, I don't know where it is in Switzerland, but it's somewhere. I was on that train and I was hanging on for dear life, and I wondered why I was dreaming it. It reminds me of the Polar Express, if you're familiar with that animated version that Tom Hanks helped do a voiceover for the conductor. It reminds me of the Polar Express and the train that goes around this huge arc and ends up in a ditch in, I think, water and ice or whatever. That's what I was seeing. And I got that about back in 2019. So I was seeing this stuff that was coming for me, basically, where I'm going to end up on a holiday. So it's saying in 1 year, 1 calendar year, because the wheel represents 1 calendar year. It also represents in the deck of the, which is it? These ones. The Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle. See that again? It's a wheel. Now, if you're going to make a spell, I always go around with my finger. I make a pentacle. And it usually shuts off energy or people coming to bug me for 4 hours. And it's great. I can only seem to do 4-hour stretches. So if you want to undo that, you go. So that's clockwise to do the spell, to not let people bother you. To anti-clockwise undoes the spell. That's what I found. Again, I'm learning. This is all new to me. I'm still learning what I can do. So in 1 calendar year, you're going to get a new car or you're going to go overseas, is what it's saying. So that's cool. Maybe you win a holiday. You may win a holiday. You may win a car. You may win something. I got this thing on Facebook saying I won a car and an iPhone. I'm like, there's no way. I thought it was a scam. I still think it's a scam. I gave my address out, but I thought, oh, if it's a scam, they're going to try and send me something. I'll know it's not real because I can't open my letterbox. So good luck with that. Ace of Winter is to do with a download. You're going to get so many downloads. See the white leopard in the back, the snow leopard in the background? This represents you may have a fire in placement in your chart. It can also potentially mean that you have the sign, the Chinese sign of the tiger. I know I'm a walking tiger in a Chinese horoscope. We're very cautious. We move slowly, stealthily, and then we circle the people that we don't trust. And then if they try and harm us, we'll attack them on a level that they would hope and pray that God would take them instead of me. I will retaliate against anyone trying to harm myself and my family. I am very protective and I'm very, very good at what I do. And if I do choose to put a spell on you, you better hope and pray that someone takes you out, i.e. God takes you out before I do. So it's saying here that you are very protective of your friends and family. It says don't be deterred by challenges along the way. It's important to communicate clearly and accurately. Amazing new ideas should be implemented. You've got brand new downloads coming in. Downloads on how you're supposed to proceed in this journey of your psychic ability. She's got pure crystalline thought coming down from her crown chakra, which is so when you're asleep, your third eye is downloading these messages for you, or during the day. I know I get them between 11 and 1. Well, 11's a door, right? It's got 1 and 1 is a door. So 1, I don't know, but it's like 11 and 11, I make a wish usually. That's when I make wishes, because that's when you can open a door and open a portal to the other side. I know when they're not real because, obviously my brother doesn't live in Newcastle. But if I see stuff for him, it's usually because he's thinking about me or he's asleep and he's having a dream and his astral form is around me, and I'll get a future vision for him, or I get I've always had future visions for him, but I also get future visions for people, places and things that I love or I worry about. If I worry about you and care about you, I'll see things for you. But I've got to really really love you to see stuff for people. Or if it, in a case if I care about you and I care for people's well-being generally, I'll see things for people through touch, psychometry, something that you own, a ring, an item of jewelry you always wear, a photograph of someone, I can possibly get a reading off that as well, a scarf, anything. So that's what it's saying there, the Ace of Winter. Then you've got here, far, far away, I was talking about getting downloads. That confirms that. Number 30. It's saying that you daydream. I used to get in trouble for it at school. A tendency to daydream will be with you at this time. This daydream will allow you to create, receive messages, send messages, and understand far more than you believe at present. Far, far away, others may say you have a lack of focus, that you feel disconnected, allowing yourself to be distracted by ego, easily bored, short attention span, needing physical involvement to learn, too much sitting still. While daydreaming is beautiful and enriching, it is important to ground these imaginings with endeavour and with craft. Not witchcraft, but you know what I'm saying. If you have that ability, you can sometimes use it. I only use it for the good. Only do I ever curse if I feel unsafe by those people. And then it's a form of minimising what they're trying to do to me. I'm just retaliating. So it is important to ground these imaginings. Bring in the earth element and surprise everyone with the beauty of your creation. So you need to ground yourself with foods like that are root chakra foods like carrots or potatoes, and that will help ground you. They say it doesn't work on me, but anyway, you can always try. The littlest fairy is appreciate the beauty and value of the exquisite and the small. So maybe you do creative work, and maybe the creative work is small. You might have paintings that are on a 6x4 board. I don't draw big, I draw small things. That's just all how I've been. Maybe you're not brave enough or have the confidence to do a bigger scale. Appreciate the beauty and the value of the exquisite and the small. Modesty, a deliciously small sense of scale, miniatures, natural beauties that only last a few minutes, dew on the grass, a rainbow in a crystal, a brief and gentle breeze on a warm summer's day, a reflection on the water, a delicious strawberry and a flower in bloom, a light moving on the periphery of your vision, signifying fairy contact. All these things are precious today. Make an offering and give thanks for a small treasure within your life. Be generous in your appreciation. Keep things small and beautiful. Something needs to be in miniature to be all at the right size. Do not criticise something, a gentle tendril of new plant pushing through soil for not being large in size yet. Break down a task into the smaller components and take baby steps. Give thanks for each small step along the way. Know that over the magic of time, small things grow. Know that some things are better for being small. They are not meant to become big. They are tiny and they are treasured. Being pushed to make something bigger, louder and more noticeable, small is the way to go for now. Look close at the details. Understand the power of gratitude in terms of growth, and know your life is in some way small and very precious because of this. So yeah, you grow at your pace, not at someone else's. That's what I've always said. I think the problem with school systems is they try to push you to grow at their rate, not at your rate, in order to get funding for government assistance for things for the school. I get the motivation, but I don't understand why you would want to push someone who works a little bit slower but gets there in the end. You know, I can remember one school telling my kids to stay home, one of them kids to stay home, because only the high performers were wanted that day, to show what an amazing school it was. And I never agreed with that at all. I was so unimpressed by that school after that. Yang. Everyone matters. Everyone should have a place in society. No one is lesser or better than anyone else. That's what you teach in school systems, right? So why would a school go and do that? Yeah, I don't trust schools, and I don't trust governments, and I don't trust a hell of a lot of other things at the moment. I'm very suspicious of everything. So yeah, I do use my discernment very, very wisely. So maybe you're in a yang energy at the moment. The yang is what it's saying here. Yang is male energy. You may be too much in your masculine rather than your feminine, which is why I pulled the awakening earlier for Pisces. You may try to swim upstream in a masculine, like an action type based thing, which, you know, Mars energy is Aries energy. I've got Aries ascendant, so I'm very Aries, I'm very male. To be fair, okay, so you might be trying to push forward with something. To be fair is you may be going through a court case right now, and that might not be fun. You may have to try and plead your case, and maybe that this case has been corrupted by someone who knows the person that you're up against, that is the opponent that is on the board of people that make decisions based on your children, perhaps. To be fair, is number 38. And 1 is the first, and I said to you before about 1 and 11 is the time that I'm most active. The masculine principle, the yang, represents the power of action, the energies that propel the world forward and manifesting thought and desire into concrete form. Now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to fruition if you proceed confidently. This card signifies new life, and it is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There is no reason to hesitate. You are the shaper of your destiny. Circumstances are supporting action on your part. It's okay to make the first move. Trust and you will quickly know where you stand. In matters of the heart, there is movement towards your highest good. So go forth with assurance. Passion is in the air, and now is the time to dance to the tune of love. Take the lead. Projects, partnerships, and all matters relating to your business are out of the obstacle phase and on to make it happen phase. Now is the time to stake your claim and get things done while you can expect to be busier than usual. This card tells you that you have all the energy and vitality you need to accomplish your goals. Abundance is waiting for you to claim it. 38. Life offers experiences that are challenging, experiences that are nourishing, yet over time they strike a balance. To move from stasis to doing, from discovering to loving to letting go to being again, life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You'll always oscillate back and forth between doing and being, a lot like a pendulum on a clock, how it sways from left to right. If you are not content where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed now. Can you find a way to achieve fairness right now? This is a time for listening as well as speaking, for understanding as well as asking to be understood. There is much to be learned, and you will learn it if you remain open and objective, weighing options and considering all sides. Your heart wants to connect to others, so allow for a balanced exchange of ideas and actions. The best kind of relationship is one which there is mutual benefit and each party feels heard, valued and respected. Be fair to all. Now is the time for even exchanges. Justice will prevail, and you'll be treated according. In all affairs, there will be negotiations and settlements. Mutual gain is the gift to you and your partners and colleagues. This is a good time to square your finances and take stock. This card signifies balance and justice and negotiations. So remember that all things must be fairly recompensed. Keep this as your truth, and so it will be. Yeah. Sorry about the noise. I live next door to neighbours that are sometimes noisy. That's all I have for you today for air. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising, Moonlight Madness.